这间教会是1972年伫阮兜开始，所以已经满40年。
当到6档
20年，20档啊
，27年啊
，18年啊。
I've been in TBC for about 16 years and it feels like home.
In the Old Testament, the people of Israel lived around altars. Each altar embodied a living memory of certain historical episode that helped sustain the faith community. The journey of the Taiwanese Presbyterian Church of Washington began in 1972, when a group of Taiwanese Christians realized the importance of coming together to share their faith. They opened their houses for Bible study. Soon thereafter several clergies joined them and the fellowship grew. In 1974, the fellowship negotiated to use a space at the Silver Spring United Presbyterian Church. The Sunday worship service was then able to be conducted in the afternoon so that members were free to join the American churches in the morning. To better manage the group as chores, a steering committee was formed and bylaws were written. The service programs were expanded to include Sunday school, Chinese language classes and an outreach program to adopt an orphan. In 1979, the fellowship decided to approach the National Capital Presbytery to explore the possibility of joining the Presbyterian Church USA, since most members could identify their faith origin with the Presbyterian Church in Taiwan. Gracefully, the congregation was put under the care and financial assistance of the Presbytery's new Church Development Committee. In the meantime, we were blessed to retain Reverend Milton Chu's ministry services during his sabbatical leave from Ithaca College. Under his leadership, we grew both spiritually and numerically. In June 1979, we moved to the Burnt Mill Seventh-day Adventist Church, hoping that we can share the facility and have more time for fellowship and activities. Due to some cultural differences, the relationship with Burnt Mill Church was short-lived. In 3 months, we began worshiping at Rock Creek Palisade Elementary School. The uncertainty and instability created by moving around spurred the idea of building our own facility. With the participation of the Taiwanese community at large, we managed to raise $20,000 for the building fund. However, our pastoral relationship with Reverend Chu ceased when his sabbatical ended and returned to Ithaca in December 1980. The church entered a new era after Reverend Joseph Ko became our pastor. Reverend Ko and the presbytery were able to persuade the Wheaton Presbyterian Church, WPC, to provide space for our next phase of growth. In June 1981, we moved into the WPC campus. Since then, we have had years of rest and growth. In 1984, the presbytery granted us the status of an organized church and we incorporated in the state of Maryland as the Taiwanese Presbyterian Church of Washington. The financial aid from the presbytery ceased. By that time, our second generation had grown into teens and young adults, and infused tremendous energy and vitality into the church. We started Sunday worship with a bilingual service with both generations present in the sanctuary. After the bilingual service, the first generation remained in place for the sermon in Taiwanese, the second generation went to Sunday school for classes taught in English. Nurturing the young became a priority. Through the years, we realized talented youth leaders within the church, including Reverend Ko and his 2 sons. They led the youth fellowship in Bible studies, camping trips and choir practice. For many summers and to great acclaim, the youth choir toured and performed at various Taiwanese churches in North America. This warm, nurturing environment inspired 2 teens who later became pastors, to become today's English ministry. Another group of young adults who were most fluent in Mandarin Chinese also organized the Salt and Light Fellowship. They strived to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. This period of steady church growth also saw the expanding geographical spread of the membership, specifically in Northern Virginia. In 1990, we commissioned a group of volunteers for a new church planting mission, to minister to members there. In 2 years, they became an organized church, and later become the Chesterbrook Taiwanese Presbyterian Church in Falls Church, Virginia. After Reverend Ko and his family moved to Houston in 1995, the lay leadership became strong, and later the church was characterized as a church of enthusiasm and order. In 1997, Reverend Joseph Chan was called to be our pastor. His exegetical sermons made our faith more rooted in the Bible. We also signed a Partners in Mission Memorandum of Understanding with Wheaton Presbyterian Church to deepen our relations and cooperation. The relationship was later broadened to include all ethnic groups on the WPC campus. Our effort in embracing people of all ethnicities brought us unexpected media attention and recognition. On February 21, 1999, The Washington Post in its local section carried a front-page article in its local section that ran for several full pages, entitled "A Church with Four Faces." It described the ministry of the four churches of different ethnicity that shared the WPC facilities. Soon after, the local NBC station also picked up the story in its primetime report headlined "God in Washington." Both reports portrayed us as successful and generous Taiwanese Presbyterians. After celebrating our 30th anniversary in 2003, the long-dormant idea of building our own church facility re-emerged, and the long-forgotten $20,000 building fund bank account was once again remembered. The planning and fundraising activities were kicked up to higher gear, and we managed to purchase a 2.4-acre lot. However, with the departure of Reverend Chen in 2005, due to health reasons, the building project slowed down considerably. Our priority under the care of interim pastor Reverend James Cheng was to make sure the congregation was well prepared for calling a new pastor. It should be mentioned that during Reverend Chen's tenure, Reverend Jimmy Hong was called to be the associate pastor for the Youth Fellowship, which became our full-fledged English ministry. Unfortunately, Reverend Hong's stay was rather short. In July 2007, the English ministry joined forces with the Korean English ministry to form an ethnically inclusive ministry called the House of Transformation, or HOT Ministry. The leadership of HOT Ministry is under the Reverend Yina Hong. The Presbyterian Women's Fellowship has been with us since the beginning of the church. At first, they served food. Later, hearing Chris call, they extended their service to care ministry. They comfort the bereaved, visit and deliver food to families with sick members, and lead Bible study at homes needing companionship. The Women's Fellowship undertakes a ministry vital to church life and to the community. The church building project was reinvigorated after Reverend Hung arrived in 2009, and today we finally see the fulfillment of our prayers, dream, and hard work. Exactly 40 years after the beginning of our faith journey, we are here to dedicate the new sanctuary to God. We knock on the door, and it is open to us, and we are ushered into our desired haven. We remember in the burning bush God spoke to Moses, "I am who I am." Paraphrasing the Hebrew text, it really means, "I was there with you, for you, I am here with you, for you, and I will be there with you, for you." Yes, God is with us, for us in the past, in the present, in the future, everywhere and all the time. This is the living memory of the Taiwanese Presbyterian Church of Washington.